Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and we have something really cool to take a look at, or pretty cool, I guess. It's maybe not really cool, but it's something very interesting for the Jurassic World Dominion line. We have one of these Uncaged Click Tracker Atrociraptor figures, and I just want to state before you even go any further with this review that I'm going to review this after receiving the basic Atrociraptor. So when the basic Atrociraptor review goes up, I'm going to state in that review that that was the first Atrociraptor that I received in the Jurassic line. However, this review is going to come out before it because I figured this figure isn't really, anything amazing that I should wait on and dedicate an entire day to the review of. Just kind of a cool little fun figure that Mattel has recently come out with. So I did acquire this after the basic Atrociraptor. So when you do see the basic Atrociraptor review, don't think I'm crazy, because this was my second Atrociraptor figure for the Jurassic World line. But I just wanted to state that before I go any further here. But you can see again, this one was at my local Walmart, and it's the only one that they had. I know there are 4 different color variants out of this figure, but I know that it's also all the same sculpt. And you'll be able to see that here when you look at the back. You can now see the different ones that are out. Obviously, here's the one that we have here, but there are also the other 3 different Atrociraptors that are in Jurassic World Dominion, or at least I assume that's what we're trying to replicate, although I don't remember the colors on them being quite so colorful. But, I haven't seen the film yet, so who knows. But, again, the packaging looks pretty cool. It doesn't look like it's anything amazing or, something that I really need to touch upon. So let's go ahead, pop this out of the box, and check it out. So here is our little control to use to click, I guess. Yeah, we're going to click to operate our Atrociraptor. It fell over. And then here is the Atrociraptor itself. And I will say that it actually looks pretty neat. Like, as far as the sculpt goes, I always love that Mattel goes the extra mile to give you a very highly detailed sculpt in everything they do. And this here is a great example of that, because obviously this is just meant to be kind of like a goofy little dinosaur toy for the Atrociraptors for Jurassic World Dominion, yet the sculpt is still incredibly highly detailed. Always impressing me in that aspect is Mattel, and I'm very intrigued to get a closer look at this to show you how nice the detail is. So we're going to go ahead and do that, then we'll throw some batteries in it, because it does take batteries that are not included. I did purchase the batteries once I saw that, and then we'll check out the action feature and everything from there. So as far as the sculpt goes, again, you can see how beautiful the detailing aspect is in the head area of this figure. Obviously, it's not exactly accurate to what the Atrociraptors look like in Dominion, because it's kind of almost given kind of like a Snap Squad sort of an appearance with like the larger eyes and the goofy look. But again, it looks really good as far as the fine detail goes, and also kind of has like the basic visual of what the Atrociraptors look like in Dominion. You can also see that we have kind of like a really cool orangish tone of color, like a light orange, and you also have brown here kind of running along the palette area, kind of circling around the inner area, and then we also have a little splotch of it right there. We have a reddish orange eye with a nice black pupil, which looks really good. Also sports a beautiful gloss coat. You can see the nostrils up here at the tip of the snout, and we have kind of like a growling type of a look for our Atrociraptor. You can see the teeth on the inside of the mouth are all sculpted pretty nicely. There's no real like significant paintwork, because you can kind of see how they're all just kind of painted together right there, but it's nice and precise, no sloppiness as far as that goes. Even the detailing there on the lower jaw is really nicely done on the Atrociraptor. As you lead back into the body, we have almost a non-existent neck, because the whole thing is kind of compact, but you can see that as far as like the neck goes, we have some creasing leading down the course of the neck, the little bit of a neck that we have, and we also have some beautiful, very vibrant scale detail, very lizard-like scale detail as we run through the course of the figure. You can kind of see the spinal column there. You can also see again more of those brown splotches here running through the course of the figure, and then we have kind of a nice brown that sort of outlines the upper part of the thigh as we lead into the leg, and then the leg transitions to a really nice kind of a light gray, but it almost looks like they've sort of dry brushed the detail out, because it actually pops really nicely and kind of looks like it has color variation. So they have done a really good job of highlighting the detail and highlighting the scale detail specifically through the course of that leg. You can also see that we have some nice muscle definition moving through the course of the leg, and we do have painted nails, which is funny that we would get painted nails on this, but not most of the dinosaur figures that we get in like their main line. But you can see that again, the nails are painted. They do sport a glossy look, but the entire leg area kind of has a bit of a glossy look to it. the entire figure overall doesn't really, like once you reach the light orange areas, not so much, but the leg itself definitely has a very glossy look. The arm as well sports some nice muscle definition, but no nail paint on the fingers. And then we lead out the length of the tail. The tail's in an upward position, and it looks really nice again as far as the detailing aspect goes. Not really too much going on here on the underside. And once you turn it around again, it's going to be pretty much the exact same thing as far as the detailing standpoint goes, which means it is very nice and very highly detailed on both sides. So really cool looking figure, definitely a fun version of an Atrociraptor. So let's go ahead and take this down. We'll throw some batteries in it and check it out from there. I also wanted to show you guys when I was at my local Walmart that I was able to score this. This is something I've been looking for a very long time. I was so psyched to find it, so I figured I would show you guys just in case you are not aware that this exists. It is a beautiful, very small bucket that is out for Easter currently at different Walmarts, and it is absolutely incredible when it comes to the Jurassic Park artwork on it. So I wanted to show you guys just in case you didn't know again that it is showing up at different Walmarts. Maybe you can hurry up and grab it before it's gone. Unfortunately, this is the first time I've seen it in person in store. I snagged it right away, but again, very, very cool looking bucket that is worth picking up for sure. But we now have our click tracker here, and we are ready to check out the action feature of it. So we're going to turn the button on here on the underside. We've obviously got some noises happening, so we're going to see exactly what he does once we push the clicker here. He took off, and luckily that stopped him right there. Took off the other way now, so that's pretty neat. I think he does some kind of a spin, and I'm not sure. Okay, I didn't even click it that time. He just took off on his own. I'm not entirely sure how to get him to do that. Let's see if we can do it again. Still just taking off on me here. So I just checked the instructions out, and I think I know how now to do it. We're going to click it twice. There we go. We get a little 360 out of him right there. Or maybe even a little bit more than a 360, but he's got a spin going on. Ah, he tried to attack me. I wasn't even ready that time. I was just about to push the button and he took off on his own. Okay, that was way more than a 360. But again, that's pretty neat. Definitely something that kids will enjoy. Now he's still going. We're going to have to turn him off, but definitely something kids will enjoy. I actually think the playability of this is definitely really cool, and it does cost $15. I think, you know, that's an alright price, I guess, for this, and maybe a little cheaper would have been better, but it's still not a bad price. It has a pretty fun action feature, some pretty cool Atrociraptor-type noises, so definitely really fun. For a size on our Atrociraptor, you are looking at right about the 7-inch range, I would say, or around the 18-centimeter area. And then for a height, the highest point is definitely the tip of the tail, right around 3 inches or 7.5, closing in on 8 centimeters. For a size comparison, there are all of our usual review comparison suspects, as we have Mr. Papo Rex, the Attack Pack Colovosaurus, and Robert Muldoon from the Mattel Jurassic World toy line. So you can definitely see, as far as the size goes, next to the click tracker figure here, this Atrociraptor, it's much smaller than a lot of the other figures that would have, like, you know, sounds and things to them. So it's probably one of the smallest Mattel figures overall that does include sound and an action feature, which is pretty cool to see that. But again, definitely on the smaller side. I would like to think these figures here would probably show you that, but if not, for another comparison, we can bring in a few other figures like the newer Extreme Damage Velociraptor that has just recently come out, and you can see again face to face with the Atrociraptor that it's even smaller than the Velociraptor. Obviously a little bit more body mass, but as far as the overall size goes, again, these click tracker figures are definitely small. And then here is a Takara Tomy Stegosaurus, and those Takara Tomy figures are definitely some of the smallest Jurassic figures out currently. And again, you can see it's not too much bigger than the Tomy Stegosaurus. It is a little bit bigger. And then for one more comparison, there is a Mattel Dilophosaurus as well next to our click tracker. I would like to think at this point you've probably got a pretty good idea of the fact that it is still fairly small, but pretty cool overall. So this Mattel Jurassic World Dominion Click Tracker Atrociraptor is pretty fun. It's actually a lot more fun than I thought it would be. You know, going into these figures, I wasn't really too sure what to expect, and it wasn't something that I was so excited about. But then again, if you look at what else we have coming out from the Mattel line, like there is just so much stuff that it's understandable to be a little less excited about something like this. But I will say Mattel has actually done a pretty good job on it. Like the sculpt, although obviously very exaggerated, looking again almost Snap Squad-ish as far as the goofiness to the sculpt, it's really highly detailed, and that's one thing Mattel is so great at. It doesn't matter what type of figure they are trying to create, they're always going to give you a really highly detailed sculpt, and that is definitely what you have here with the Click Tracker Atrociraptor. It's a very appealing looking sculpt, I think, as well, and the colors look really cool. I like the colors that they have put onto this particular version. Really nice and really natural looking colors, I think, for the figure. And all of the paintwork is really nicely done as well, so that is a plus to see. There's no real sloppiness or anything, like no missed eye paint. The teeth are really nicely done overall, so that is also a plus. The action feature is pretty cool and definitely something that I think kids will enjoy, but even as an adult collector, I find some sort of fun in it. It's just not something I'm super excited about, but when it comes to a kid getting a battery-operated Atrociraptor that they use with a little clicker, similar to what Owen uses in Jurassic World to kind of control the Velociraptors. Again, definitely something that I can see kids completely eating up and enjoying. Hopefully I'll be able to find the other three. I would imagine over time I definitely will, and I will actually add those to my collection. Initially I wasn't so sold on these, wasn't too sure if I was going to buy them or not, but after having this one, I can say I definitely want to pick up the other three. So if you are interested in this, make sure you check your local Walmart, as that's where I found mine. Pick them up if you can in fact find them, and make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.